All right, hello everyone. Welcome back to another edition of FSI's PGA Preview. I'm joined with John this evening. John, the new home, how's it coming along?
It's coming, as you can see, paint on the walls. That's good. It's a start, I guess. Yeah, new home wants to do. We got a foot of snow outside today. It's a little crazy around here, but I'm excited to be back chatting some golf and jump into this again this week.
Yeah, it certainly adds a good wrinkle when there's a foot of snow and you're trying to move boxes in and out, paint in and out. Gotta love it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But if you have noticed, John and I have took a 2-week hiatus while he is getting together his new house, but all the congratulations again to him. Looks like it's coming along well. I know it's a lot of work, so thank you for stepping in for a couple of minutes and talking some golf with us. We got the Zozo Championship this week, typically held in Japan, but given the COVID concerns, the PGA Tour has kept this one inland. And so let's get it started with our preview. Where are we at this week for the Zozo?
All right, let's get right in. We're headed to California, to Thousand Oaks, California. Like you said, the Zozo was normally in Japan. It's moved for the pandemic, just as they reworked everything. The course, though, has had lots of PGA action. The Hero World Challenge was here from 2000 to 2013. So a lot of the golfers, guys like Tiger Woods, have played this quite a bit. So some experience there, but a lot of the newer tour guys going to be their first shot at it, and the stats and course history really aren't anything we can take a look at this week. So the course, it's 7,100 yard, par 72, Jack Nicklaus design. These are bent grass greens. So we're looking at probably a pretty good birdie fest here this week. I am targeting guys that are the best ball strikers, the approach, obviously birdie makers. This course is a little bit different. It has 5 par 5s and 5 par 3s. So that's pretty rare. We are definitely targeting those par 5 scorers, looking a little bit at par 3 scoring also, guys, at least that don't stink at that, because we're going to have a lot of them. There is quite a bit of water, so want to avoid things like some double bogeys and stuff. But really, I think that players are going to eat up the course pretty well. Something in the neighborhood of like 16 under, 18 under. Normally with the Hero World Challenge, there's only a handful of guys that actually play that event. So something like 16 under would be a winning score. I think with 78 golfers this week, we should see something a little bit better than that, maybe 18 or 19 under. So that's kind of a breakdown there. Other stats we're looking at, tee to green, a little bit of green in regulation. And then looking at some comp courses and potentially like Murfield Village, another Jack Nicklaus design. So just looking at a few guys who played well there, but kind of tough to gauge since we don't have the course history here. So that's the breakdown as I'm seeing it. Anything else you want to add to that?
A couple of things I did in my research. The Colonial, a lot of water courses. I did some Florida comps. I know those are Bermuda greens, but like you alluded to with water being spread out throughout the course, I tried to look at guys who do avoid those big numbers and guys that are really accurate. And I noticed that there's a really short course, and as you alluded to with the par 5s, so could very well see some eagles, but accuracy off the tee is going to be pretty important here. So that's one thing I factored in. A lot of wedge guys, guys that can hit it from within 100, 125 to really close proximity to the pin. But I think it's going to be, hard to tell coming into it round one. But as the days go on, we're going to have better We're going to have a better look at seeing who's seeing the golf tournament well, and we're going to be able to pick apart some showdown slates this week. So I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, but always, as you can find John's PGA article, it's a preview article called No Mulligans. If you're new with us, we tout that every week. It's a big part of our research. John had sent me that earlier today, and really helpful for my research heading into the week. But let's get into some picks, John, and kick us off in this 10K and above range. And who is your guy up top?
Sure. So there's quite a bit to like, obviously, in this 10K plus range, but to me, I'm kind of gravitating to Jon Rahm this week. He's 11K flat. I think that's a little better than paying up to get Xander here. I think you're getting just as good, if not a better golfer He's only played 2 events since the new PGA Tour season started. He did get a little bit warmed up though last week, 17th place at the CJ Cup. I'm looking really at his consistency. He hasn't missed a cut since the Charles Schwab back in June. Over his last 36 rounds, he's third in par 5 scoring, second greens in regulation, third tee to green, and 6th in ball striking. So really checked all those boxes for me. And then kind of that Murphy Village comp, he did win that tournament. So I could see myself paying up for him quite a bit as my tournament option. I think it's pretty obvious with the pricing that JT is going to be uber popular, and potentially a cash play just over 10K if you can squeeze him in. It's a small field, so I think it's possible. That'd be really the highest guy I'd pay for in a cash lineup. But what are you looking at here in the 10K?
Definitely looking at Justin Thomas. Last week, he was just on fire, and he's been on fire since the Tour Championship. He finished second. He has that 8th place at the U.S. Open and 12th last week at the CJ Cup. Just had a really terrible Sunday, but he was really firing at the pin. He had a second round 66. He's finished his 8 in the model, second in ball striking, first tee to green, second birdies are better, and second in approach. He's just really striking the ball really well. I think I agree with you on the cash lineup aspect. If there were a guy to pay up for in cash, it would be Justin Thomas. He's won these WGC events before, having won one earlier in the year, and he came in second in Mexico. So does well in these short fields, no cut events. A guy that's just been on fire, Ty Hatton, 10K flat. He was finished 3rd last week. He won the BMW Championship 2 weeks ago in England. 5th in the model. He 10th in par 5s, 7th in greens and gained, and 8th on the approach. Ty Hatton's just on fire right now, and he's getting in some really good form. Heading into what we're going to be talking about here soon in the coming weeks, the Masters. I think that's a good place for him as well. Fairly decent off the tee, very accurate off the tee, and now his irons are really going, and the putters really going as well. So, big fan of Ty Hatton this week. I think probably going to be a good GPP play. I don't think that's because of ownership. I just think he has the upside to win, especially when he is a very, hot golfer. Cold, really bad golfer. So gonna ride the hot streak while he's playing well, and until he shows us otherwise, it's just gonna go right back to him week in, week out. But I think that's a good breakdown of the 10K range. Let's get into these 9K golfers and let's start evening out our lineups. What do you got here in the 9K range?
Sure. So my favorite, probably no big surprise, Colin Morikawa, 9,800. I actually like a lot of the plays in this 9K range, but I'll be willing to spend up on him, cash and tournaments. He's a Southern California kid here, went to Cal for college. He's played this course a couple times. He said this week, I think back in high school, but still at least he's seen the course a little more than some of the other guys coming in this week. Bent grass greens is his best putting surface. He did get 12th place last week after a couple bad events before that. Just looking at his last 50 rounds, though, 3rd on par 5 scoring, 3rd ball striking, 3rd on approach. We talk about it every week just about the iron play is really, really good with him. 10th also in birdie or better over that same time. So I'll be playing quite a bit of Colin this week and backing him as usual. Probably end up playing a little bit of Wolf as well. I know he has a ton of experience on this course playing. He grew up just a handful of miles from the course. So I'm interested. I should say he went to high school a handful of miles from the course. He's very, very experienced with the area. So him, and then maybe a bit of Hovland. I think I'm not sure how popular he'll be at initial look. It looked like quite a bit of people are gravitating to him, but I think Hovland would be a good play this week as well. So, but really there's a lot to like in the 9K range. Do you have a favorite?
I think that Hovland plays sharp. We're going through the models before we started talking, and his mixed conditions model really popped as well as his overall statistical model. I think Hovland's a great play, 9,200. The putter is the only thing you worry about. So when you looked at his bent grass putting, that checked out. So Hovland's going to be a strong play. I'm going to have him in a lot of lineups, and probably going to be, as always, in on Morikawa. I play him week in, week out as well. Good kid, and hopefully he continues to have his good run of form here in California. The guy I'm going with is Webb Simpson. This guy is only 9,700. Typically a 10K golfer. He's got 10 top 10 finishes in 10 top 10s and 15 cuts made in 17 events. I mean, just one of the best golfers going right now. These short plotter courses seem to be his style. He's very accurate off the tee, not long, but this isn't a course that you're going to have to be long with. I think the proximity to the hole from 100 to 125 was something that really checked out with him. He's sixth in par 3 scoring. I think that's a good number that we found on the mixed conditions model, ninth in birdie or better. And his best putting surface is bent grass. He's 10th in putting on this surface, and he's got 3 straight top 15 finishes, and one not so long ago at the Shriners with a 13th place finish. So Webb Simpson's going to be the main focal point for me here in the 9K range. Probably going to be my starting point in cash. Getting that discount from someone like JT with as much upside as JT. I think that's a sharp way to go for your cash lineups. Going to talk on Tiger a little bit. Some fanboy going, but obviously the course is the recent form is not there. The course history is he's won this event 5 times from 2013, including 4 runner-up finishes. So he's seen this course really well. You had told me before we started that he had won a matchup in 1999, was it, or 2009?
That's right.
Yeah,
1999, before they started the Hero World Challenge at this course.
Right. Yes, this is the old place for the Hero World Challenge. Yeah, so I'm probably not going to have a ton of Tiger, but why not? I mean, this is his Masters prep. No cut, Masters prep. This is probably a better showdown play. Maybe you can pinpoint one of the low rounds for Tiger, but definitely worth mentioning that he has crushed this course in its history. But yeah, I agree with you on the 9K range being pretty loaded, but I think those are some good plays given. So let's get into some uglier ranges here. We got to find some value. Let's start here in the mid tier at 8K.
So yeah, 8K, a couple guys that I gravitated to first. Matthew Fitzpatrick, he's a guy that had success at Barfield Village as well, 3rd place there. But yeah, 2nd place last week playing on the Euro Tour, the BMW PGA Championship. I really think that he enjoys these no-cut events also. We saw him place 12th place at the CJ Cup, 6th at WGC St. Jude earlier this year. So really, I think that the style, the format fits him very well. So over his last 36 rounds, he's 11th in birdies or better percentage, 15th greens in regulation. He's number 1 in putting, which is very typical for him. But last week, he didn't just have the putter going. He was playing really well on approach also. So I liked that. The other guy that jumped out at me, Russell Henley, he's quietly been playing really good golf here. 5 straight top 30 finishes. 3 of those are top 10s. The putter really carried him last week, so I don't necessarily expect that to continue. He gained like over 5 strokes putting last week. Yeah, exactly. So, I think that the ball striking is going to be able to carry him this week and not just lean on that putting. He's 3rd in ball striking over the last 36 rounds, 4th in greens in regulation, and 4th tee to green. So I think he's going to be able to eat up this course pretty well this week. Those are really my 2 favorites in the 8K range, although there's quite a few guys here. I like the 7K range is pretty ugly to me, but I like a few other guys here. Who's your favorite?
I'm going with Daniel Berger. Berger is a plotter extraordinaire. He's 4th in the model, 8th in ball striking, 7th tee to green, 5th in birdies or better, 9th good drives. I mean, the guy just crushed every statistical model aspect of our recent form. He has the 15th at the Tour Championship, 39th at the Masters, 20th CJ Cup. Not really like the best results, but he seemingly has like the best, statistics coming into this. Like, it's like what's holding him back from closing, on these tournaments. I think a lot of it has to do with putting surface, and I think bent grass is, typically one of his better putting surfaces. So let's hope Daniel Berger can get it all together. I know 8,900 is a steep price to pay. People played him last week. He didn't really pan out as what they wanted him to be. So hopefully that keeps the ownership low and makes for a good GBP play. But I'm like you in this low 8K range with players like Henley. So I'm kind of stunned they kept Henley's price where it was. I was hoping to see him.
Yeah.
I was hoping to see him in that 7K range because it could really use him.
Yeah, the salary, I mean, 8,100's a kind of a little bit of a stick, but I could see myself playing him in cash this week, especially, I mean, he's getting 4 rounds. I don't think he's one to just have a big blow up round either. So a little more
Yeah.
consistency.
Cash is looking like a balanced approach this week. It's tough. I know it's no cut and you really want the studs that have the upside to win. But it's not looking like many people in this 7K, 6K range are going to be grinding out top fives this week. And I say that, and it probably happens, but I don't really see it. So I'm going to try
Somebody
to take.
will.
Yeah, I mean somebody will, but I want that more opportunity of darts with like the low 8s, the low 9s, and try to build a better balance that way to make sure that I'm getting the highest point total I can possibly get. So with that being said, let's get into the 7K range and we'll start throwing some darts. What do we got?
Yes, my favorite, if you want to call him that, would be Adam Scott. Honestly, I'm not going to play very much of the guys in this range. It's, to me, just not good at all compared to some guys in like the high 6K range. But yeah, the current form is fine for Adam Scott. Not great, anything late to talk about. He did get a win on tour back in February, though, so only so many guys have actually had a win on tour in 2020. He is one of them. He's 20th on approach and 8th in greens and regulation over his last 50 rounds. Not a ton I really want to talk about with Adam Scott, but I think at 7,900, he might be about the best golfer in the range. Maybe play a little bit of Palmer. Palmer finished second place back in Murfield as well. Honestly, that's about it. What about you? Anybody you're liking here?
I like Billy Horschel. He typically plays well in Florida. We got a lot of water in Florida. He dances around them water holes pretty well. 7,400, 10th in par fives, 23rd in birdies or better. I mean, that's not elite stats, but I did notice that his best putting surface is bent grass. And he was 27th tee to green, or he was, what was that, 27th of the tour? Yeah, 7th tee to green. And I think he finished like 20th at the Tour Championship, something like that. But I like Billy Horschel. He can kind of get hot. And if I'm throwing darts and I'm playing with guys in GPPs or something like that, I know Billy Horschel, when he's on. And I could really use someone to give me some upside of top 5 in that 7K range. I thought Billy Horschel gives me the best opportunity to do so. Another guy worth mentioning, Taylor Gooch, finished, I think, 3rd last week at the CJ Cup. Only 7,100. We got 20th in birdies or better, 4th in par threes. I thought that was
the model kind of liked him.
Yeah, the model kind of liked him best there in that low 7s. I thought the par threes and the par 5 scoring looked pretty good, and 11th putting. So Taylor Gooch, maybe a good option. Could be popular because of game loggers, but I'm gonna have a little bit of share of him. But anything else you're seeing in this 7K range?
Munoz, maybe.
Yeah, he's got some winning upside at times. It's tough.
Yeah, but I'd rather play some more 6K and then be able to pay up a little bit more.
Right. Let's just roll right into that. You alluded to it. There's some 6K guys that are worth mentioning. I think give you pretty much the same upside as the 7K guys, and why not save the salary and just play the 6K guys and be able to maybe fit more studs. Could really see that route going in GBPs pretty well. So who do you have here listed for some 6Ks?
Sure, I'll probably sprinkle in quite a few guys, but my favorite probably Kevin Stroman. Don't know if I'll get there in cash, but 21st last week, he finished 3rd back at the Safeway. Also, over his last 50 rounds, he's 6th in par 5 scoring, 4th in good drives gained. He's top 25 ball striking and approach. So quite a bit to like there on Streelman. Did you have a favorite in the 6K range?
I'm like you. I got some guys I'll just sprinkle in. I think Kuchar, he's the first alternate for DJ having to withdraw with the COVID concerns. What a great play DJ would have been. Wayne Gretzky, his father-in-law, the member of this course. I'm sure DJ's played this course a time or two, but yeah, he can't play with COVID concerns. So Kuchar's first alternate. Obviously Kuchar has probably played this event back when it was held by for the Hero. Having him old guy, Kuchar, don't mind him at 68. Tyler Duncan, very accurate off the tee, good with the short wedges, and a phenomenal putter. So I don't mind Tyler Duncan. Kevin Na, there's another guy, decent with the wedges, and he's an older guy who's probably got some course experience. So don't mind that.
He plays well on the shorter courses as well.
Yeah, and he's got some par fives to work with. I don't mind Kevin Na. Hopefully there's no injury concerns. Obviously, he's always a guy with a threat of withdrawing. Yeah,
like Jason Day.
Yeah, like Jason Day playing 3 rounds and having awesome strokes gained approach numbers and then just withdrawing out of nowhere.
I won't touch him this week, that's for sure.
No, gonna stay away from Day. So make note of that, listeners. Day withdrew last week, late into the week. So probably not really ready for what's going to happen this week in the cold weather. Yeah. Well, it's not really cold in Cali. It's just cold here where we are.
Yeah, I mean, the temps don't look like they're going to get all that hot, but I don't see the wind picking up and I don't see any moisture coming in. So the weather was really nothing to report, but chilly, but nothing.
Right.
So morning fog is going to be our concern. We could see delays for morning fog. That's a real possibility, but
that's always the possibility near LA. So anything else we got for you with the 6K range?
A couple other guys I kind of will sprinkle here. Mackenzie Hughes popped out a little bit. Fratelli's had a couple decent events recently. Everybody's favorite Harry Higgs will be 6,700. I kind of like that. And then Cam Champ, I think, is a decent play as well. Again, I'm not going to load up on any of these guys in particular, but probably kind of even out my exposure on each of them and see what I can pay up top for.
Yeah, absolutely. Couldn't agree more. I think we got a good build here on the Zozo Championship. A lot of good plays mentioned and some good cash strategy. So with that, we're going to roll into some one and dones. It's been a while.
It's been a little bit. We left off, I picked Zalatoris and missed the cut, and you had Sungjae M. He was like a T23 or something. You picked up like 40K. Little bit.
But yeah, we haven't gotten a chance to do that for the past 2 weeks. So let's get some one and done picks. I believe you have it all written down, correct?
Yeah.
And then so correct me if I've taken someone that I've used, but for the Zozo and Sherwood, I'm going to go with, I know this is weird, but I'm going to go with Webb Simpson. That is my strong play of the week.
All right.
I don't know if I've taken him, but
you have not. Nope, you're good.
Yeah.
You had DJ go already, so that was good. He missed this week. You probably would have wanted to be on him.
Yeah.
I'm going to take Colin Morikawa. I think this is a better event for him. It's one that I think he can win. I think there's a lot of events this season where he'll be one of the favorites and everyone will play him. And I'm just going to have to hope and pray he doesn't win those events instead. But I'll take him this week.
Those were some strong one and done picks.
Yeah. I mean, the field's strong. So
yeah,
if I were to lay out all the majors for the rest of this year, including the Masters twice, I'm not going to play Colin at any of the other majors. That's fine. I'm okay with that. But this one I think is a good one for him. The local kid storyline.
Played well last week.
I thought about playing Wolf, but I think there's going to be more events later in the year for him that are that he's really going to be head and shoulders above some of the competition.
Right. And usually you would want to use Webb at someone like Phoenix, but yeah, okay. All right. Well, that was awesome. Thank you for your time tonight, John. I know you got a lot going on with the house and everything, but as always, it was fun. And I hope this was helpful, listeners. And tune in next week. As always, like and subscribe our videos. It goes a long way, helps me and John and ourselves here at FSI DFS.com. And subscribe to the YouTube channel. And all right, everyone, have a good night.
Thanks.
Cool.